My name is Dr. Joseph Shaibu. I'm a molecular biologist and an innovator. I work at Center for Human Biology and Genomics, Nigeria Institute of Medical Research. I had my first degree in microbiology from Obafemi Awolowo University in Ile-Ife, Osun State, and my master's at Unilag at the College of Medicine, where I studied medical microbiology with specialization in biology. And then I went on to do my PhD at Lagos State University, where I had a PhD in microbiology with specialization in virology. I have interest in research, especially in viruses, and the interest is from the fact that there's a lot of diseases that have ravaged the globe and even our nation, and most times these infections and diseases are caused by viruses, but because we have shortage in a lot of areas to diagnose them and to identify these pathogens, it results into a lot of deaths and some other major difficulties. So my interest in biology is to be able to identify the major viruses of public health importance that are in our nation, and also to be able to produce and develop kits that are made in country and local kits that can identify these pathogens within our nation. As I was saying earlier on, I know growing up as a child, I grew up in a village where many people die when they have fever and water flu. And most times what people say is witches and wizards killed them, or the gods of their father or their ancestors. The reason was because there was nothing on ground to actually identify the cause of the death. But going to school, I got to know that there were so many viral particles that are capable of causing death, even sudden death. But I also discovered that in Nigeria, there is limitation to how much research that people do into this. And one of the cause of the limitation is lack of kits, diagnostic kits. Because when you don't know a problem, you cannot solve it. So most problems that come from these infections are not solved because we don't know what caused the infections. So one of my major interests was to go into developing diagnostic kits, because even the ones that the few ones that are able to afford and buy from overseas is so expensive. So many researchers cannot afford doing research, molecular researches that can actually tell us a lot about the pathogens that are circulating in our society. So I had the privilege to travel to China in 2019, where I learned the science of designing kits, developing kits, ELISA kits, serology kits, and also PCR kits. And since I returned, since 2020, we've been able to develop about 4 kits. We have a kit for called Skoda, which was used during the COVID-19. We use it for the testing of coronavirus in Naima here. And there were so many other labs within the society that actually got them to use. And there are many other labs that are still using it up to now. It has been published, it's in the public space. Also, we have kits that have been developed for Lassa. Lassa has been a constant problem in our nation. And because we are the most hit, we have to look for a way to actually find a solution to it. So we believe that there are so many other places in Nigeria that these testings for Lassa fever are not going on, because to afford the kit is expensive. So we have been able to design a kit that can actually detect Lassa fever virus. And then also for yellow fever, we have a kit for it. And then the latest kit that we have was for monkeypox, which we are using also for an international grant that we have in conjunction with our Canadian counterparts. As I said earlier on, I'm a molecular biologist. My work is majorly on viruses. I'm working on viral hemorrhagic fever viruses, and I work on Lassa fever. I work on arboviruses, Rift Valley, Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever. I work on chikungunya, West Nile. I work on yellow fever, I work on Zika. All these pathogens, they are pathogens that are very common in our society, because most of them are actually transmitted via mosquito bites, and the species of mosquito that carry these viruses are within us, but because we don't go looking for them, we don't know that they are the cause of some of the infections that are circulating in our society. So we are currently doing a surveillance. We belong to a team, a virus surveillance team in NIMA here, which is headed by Professor Rosemary Audu. And we're doing surveillance for these viruses and viral hemorrhagic fever across the nation. And we've been getting some interesting results. Some of them have been published, some are already at the stage of review in public journals. As I said earlier on, we cannot effectively do research without collaborations. And as a team, virus surveillance team, we collaborate with other institutions, with UniLoring. We have also Unilag for the virus surveillance teams, where we are the PI for the project, where I'm a co-investigator. We give grants that NIMA give to the PI. We give to students who are studying PhD and masters from Unilag, from UniLoring, from other institutions within the country. We collaborate with them. Also, we have collaboration with NCDC. We have collaboration with Institut Pasteur in Senegal. And through that collaboration also, we have a grant that is currently running, a WHO TDR grant. Also, as I said earlier on, there is a CAMP grant, which is a Canadian monkeypox grant that we have in collaboration with a team in Canada, which is PI'd by Professor Audu, which I'm also a co-investigator. And then the other collaborations, for example, we are doing kits. When we do kits, we collaborate with the NCDC and other labs to validate the kits, because we need those external validations. So labs like LUT, Professor Sunday Milabu's lab validates this kit for us, and also at NCDC. Well, challenges in research, one of it is always funding. But the good news is we have a DG that sincerely has been passionate about research. I can say categorically anywhere that the kind of funds that he put into research has really reinvigorated research in Nigeria Institute of Medical Research. On my own side, I can't count the amount of money he has spent, because most times it takes somebody that understands that research, the result of research is not always positive. There are times that you spend millions of money and then you discover that what you worked on didn't work. But we have a Director General, the person of Professor Salako, who has not, he doesn't feel bad that he spent money on what did not turn out positive. He keeps encouraging you that even the negative result is a result, and he keeps giving us money. And that funding from him has actually helped in some of the things that we have done thus far. But we need more fundings to do greater level of research, to go into other things, areas which this NIMA alone might not be able to afford. But currently, at the level that we are working within NIMA here, the DG has made available, NIMA has made available through the generosity of the Director General. Virtually all the machines that we need for our work are available, but we need more funding from external bodies to be able to support our innovation. And then one of the biggest challenges, people coming in to believe in the innovations and carrying them to the market, because as an institute, we are unable to carry those things, commercialize our research findings, and it's the biggest area of challenge. We have kits down that can do a lot of detections, but we need people to come around, investors, collaborators, to come and buy up these these innovations, take them to the society so that it can be available for other researchers to use to do their work. That is one of the major areas of challenges that we have. I see the research going to the level where it becomes a national phenomenon, not just national, global, because there are many countries within sub-Saharan Africa that also are behind Nigeria when it comes to availability of research outcomes, just like kits that we develop. So I see a situation whereby in the next few years, across the length and breadth of Nigeria, especially now that COVID has helped us to have more than 130, about 130 molecular labs in Nigeria. I see a situation whereby in the next few years, there are policies coming up that helps to begin to use these kits in Nigeria, where all the molecular labs begin to get them. NCDC gets these kits distributed around so that we can actually do a vigorous detection for the pathogen that's circulating within our society. And that is going to help us to know the true burden of these infections within the country, and will help management of these infections. Wow. I am looking forward to getting into proteomics, which also let me get into vaccine production, drug production, and many other things that are available, nanotechnology. There is a lot of things that are evolving. The science evolve, and as science evolve, we want also to be evolving with science. But as I tell you, we are taking it phase by phase. Once we perfect the kit development and design process, we want to move into vaccines, we want to move into drug. We should be able to come up with very potent drugs and vaccines for some of the pathogens that are of public health importance to our nation, Nigeria. As I said earlier on, NIMA currently we have a lot of resources as far as materials, machines are concerned. I think for sequencing, we have virtually all the generation of sequencers, so we don't lack sequencing capacity currently. For other things like oligosynthesis, we have oligosynthesis that we use to synthesize our primers. The next addition we are trying to get on is to be able to synthesize probe, which is the next thing that if we are able to achieve, it will also help our work. And then as we move on, we want to have a standard animal house because if you want to go into vaccine and drug production, you have to get a standard animal house. And then we have about a DL3, about safety level 3 lab, but we need it to be more standardized in such a way that anybody that wants to work can easily have access to it. I think NIMA is doing well as far as acquisition of machines and resources that are needed for research are concerned. We are not behind when we compare ourselves with other institutions in the world. The first thing in life is to actually know what you want to do, because your passion will drive what you become. One thing I will advise any young researcher is to know actually what you want to do. If you know it on time, you can go far on time. But if you don't know it on time, there's every tendency that you keep trying here and there, and then eventually you are not anywhere. But when you know what you want to do on time, and you keep time and passion and resources and your energy into it, I tell you that you will become something. There is nothing that you put energy and time into it that does not bring something good to you. So they should get to know what they want to do on time, look for who will mentor them, put their energy and time and their money there, and I tell you, with time, they will become what they are supposed to be.